Welcome to Wisdom Beyond Time, where timeless knowledge meets modern insights. Dive in, and let's explore the deep truths that shape our world. Ever feel like no one sees your pain? Like your heart is so heavy, but there's no one to listen? No one who truly understands? It's in these moments that we often feel the most lost, most isolated. The weight of the world seems to settle on our shoulders, yet there's no one around to help carry it. You keep walking through the days, smiling on the outside, but inside, you're breaking. It's like you're carrying a burden no one else can see, and the silence grows louder the longer you endure. But in those very moments, when everything feels like it's falling apart, it's easy to believe that you're alone, that no one could possibly understand what you're going through. You start to doubt if there's any way out of the pain. It's like you're trapped in a room full of people, and yet you feel more invisible than ever. What if I told you that this feeling isn't unique to you? What if I told you that everyone at some point in their lives feels this way? We all have moments when the world feels distant, when we wish we could scream, but no sound comes out. The truth is, everyone experiences pain in their own way, but it can often feel like no one is there to truly listen, no one who can really understand the depth of what you're carrying inside. But here's something important to remember. You're not alone in this. Your pain, as real and as heavy as it might feel, is not something that defines you forever. You are more than the weight you carry. And though it may seem like there's no one around who can listen, there's a connection that runs deeper than any human understanding could provide. There is a source of comfort, a presence that sees your pain, acknowledges your struggle, and can carry your burden when you feel like you can't. There's a comfort in knowing that even when it feels like no one truly hears you, someone always does. That someone is always there, not judging, not turning away, not growing tired of your pain. That someone is Allah. And when the world grows cold and silent, His warmth remains constant. So often we search for validation from others, hoping that someone will see our struggles and offer us a word of comfort. But what if the true source of comfort was always available to us within our own hearts, within the space between us and the Creator? What if the silence you feel is actually an invitation to listen more closely to the whispers of your soul, to reconnect with the one who understands every part of you, even the parts you don't fully understand yourself? The pain we experience in this life can feel overwhelming. It's easy to let the weight of it consume us, to become consumed by the thoughts that tell us we are weak, that our struggles are too much for anyone to bear. But in reality, these struggles do not define us, they refine us. They shape us, they mold us, and they prepare us for something greater. Every hardship, every moment of pain is a part of a bigger picture, even if we can't always see it in the moment. In the Quran, Allah tells us that with every hardship comes ease. That verse doesn't promise that we won't face difficulty or struggle, simply promises that with every difficult moment, there is an opportunity for growth, for understanding, and for peace. Sometimes, the path to healing isn't through fixing the problem or removing the pain, but through finding strength in the process, through understanding that it's okay to hurt, it's okay to feel lost, but it's also okay to seek help, to turn inward, and to trust that there is wisdom in every challenge we face. When we feel invisible, when we feel like no one sees our pain, we can turn to prayer. We can pour our hearts out in the quiet moments, knowing that Allah knows what we're going through, even before we say a word. He knows the ache in our hearts, the frustration in our souls, and the tears we haven't shed. And in those moments of prayer, even in the silence, we find comfort. We find reassurance. We find peace. But let's be real. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. In the rush of life, in the noise of the world, it can feel like the distractions are endless. Our phones, our work, our responsibilities, they all demand our attention, pulling us further from the stillness we need to heal. It's easy to forget that the healing we long for is already within our reach. And so, we struggle in silence. We wear our pain like armor, afraid that if we show it, others will reject us, or worse, they won't understand. But the truth is, every person you encounter carries some form of pain. We all have our battles, our scars, our stories. And just as you long for someone to see you, to understand you, so does everyone else. We're all searching for connection, for someone to tell us, I see you, I hear you, you're not alone. What would happen if, instead of hiding our pain, we allowed ourselves to be vulnerable with one another? What if we stopped pretending to have it all together, and instead, we reached out to those around us not for advice, not for solutions, but simply to be seen, to be understood even in our brokenness? What if we allowed ourselves to be human, to experience the fullness of our emotions without shame or fear of judgment? The answer, I believe, is that we would find deeper connection. We would find that in sharing our pain, we create space for others to do the same. And in that shared vulnerability, we discover something truly beautiful: compassion. When we let go of the need to hide our pain, we open the door for others to let down their walls too. In that space, healing happens. But the most profound truth of all is this: even when no one else is there to listen, Allah is always there. His presence is not bound by time, space, or circumstance. He sees you, He hears you, and He understands. Your pain is not too great for Him to bear. In fact, it is in your pain that you are closest to Him, because it is in those moments of weakness that we are reminded of our reliance on Him, our need for His mercy and His guidance. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, the next time you feel unseen, turn inward, seek His comfort, let your heart be still, and listen for the whisper of peace that only He can provide. Know that in your pain, you are never truly alone. And in the darkest of moments, there is always light. And if you can, try to remember this: pain, though difficult, does not last forever. It is a part of this world, yes, but it is not the end of the story. You are more resilient than you believe. And no matter how heavy your heart feels, you are capable of healing, of finding peace, and of growing beyond the struggles you face today. Take a deep breath. Trust in the process. And when it feels like no one sees your pain, remember that Allah does, and that is enough. Thank you for watching Wisdom Beyond Time. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more timeless insights. And until next time, keep seeking wisdom.